Hello! In today's video, we have a lot going on. First of all, we have an update on the Himi Miya Use-It-Up challenge. Where are we on these paints? How much have we used and how long has it taken? So that's the first thing. The second thing, we have used the Himi Miya paints on 7 different watercolor surfaces, 7 different papers here, 7 different papers. And we are going to give you the lowdown on what we think of all these 7. And I have promised you that we were going to do this on 16 different papers, but in the interest of time, we're doing 7 today, and I will give you the last 9 in the next video. Hopefully, fingers crossed, this might take 2 more videos, but we'll see how this goes. Also, I have new brushes. Yes, I am on a buying freeze, but one of my exceptions is that I can use gift cards, and I did have about $40 left in gift cards. These brushes were on sale. They've been on my wish list for so long. They were on sale for $12.99, so I tried them out in the very last project in this video, and I will tell you what I think of them. So stay tuned. And in most of these, I tried to follow the World Watercolor Month prompts for July, even though we're in August now, I know. But sometimes that didn't work out. In this case here, my son's girlfriend wanted to try watercolor with me for the first time ever. And you can see hers is on the right side, that was on B watercolor paper. Mine was on the left side though, and that was with the Fabriano 100% cotton paper. And oh my goodness, was it such a pleasure to work with. Very easy to fix mistakes, very easy to blend. It dried in just about the right time for me to work it and not work it, and it was very comfortable to work with. I really enjoyed it. Next, my son's girlfriend wanted to try something that maybe would be a little bit easier, and she tried the B cotton paper again, but with a little elephant project, and I decided to try the Strathmore 400 paper, which is not cotton, it is cellulose paper, and hers again is on the right, mine is on the left, as you see these pictures. And a couple of things, her paper took at least 3 times longer to dry because it's 100% cotton, and mine dried really quickly, which made it easy to work with and move on to the next thing. And I think that would actually be good for a beginner because they don't have to wait as long to move on to the next part of their project. So there was that, but you did need to work quickly or it would tend to streak. I have this picture my grandma had on some kind of brochure or calendar at her house, and I snapped a picture of it, and I thought that would be really fun to paint for the prompt Gnarled. And we're gonna use Himi Miya on arches today. We're starting with the good paper, the reliable paper, I should say. All right, let's paint. As always, it is so nice to work on arches paper, and this is a block. So all 4 edges are glued down. You don't have to tape it if you want to go clear to the edges. Makes it really easy for that. Another thing is that your colors stay a little bit more true with this paper. Again, this is 100% cotton paper. It's quite nice. However, I have been told it is not vegan. So in the future, when I run out of arches paper, I do have a comment from one of you guys telling me about some cotton vegan paper that I would like to try. I don't remember what it is at this moment, but when that time comes that I run out of paper, I will go look that up and try it out. So my only complaint with my watercolor piece, not the paper, is that I did not get my darks dark enough. In fact, I would like to go back to this watercolor picture and darken my darks. So that may be an upcoming video. Subscribe if you don't want to miss me redoing some paintings. So it turns out kind of fun, but I also did realize, and I know this, but realized it again, I should say, that in these kind of paintings, all this little intricate this and that stuff is not really what I enjoy painting. So I like the way it turns out. I like the way things like this look at the end, but the painting process itself, it's just kind of tedious and annoying and intricate. So I think I like loose, flowy things a lot better, and I will try and incorporate more of that into my future paintings. And somehow I didn't catch the end of this whole process, but I do show you the entire finished painting at the very end of this video, so just watch for that. Next, we have the prompt Hushed. And so what better thing than a lady with her finger in front of her mouth saying shush, and you are now hushed. But I went into this project thinking I was working on 100% cotton paper, and I was so confused at first because I'm like, this paper is fighting me. It's fighting me every step of the way, and I'm really, really frustrated. This paper is the Hanaumule rough paper, 140 pound. It is a block, and ouch, it hurt my brain. It has a really cool texture, but because I thought I was working on cotton paper, I was, like I said, so confused because it was fighting me. I couldn't get any smooth blends. The face texture on this poor lady's portrait was just horrendous. And so at the very end, I looked back at the paper and I'm like, oh, this is not cotton paper. So that would probably be the reason I'm having so much trouble. So if you are trying to do portraits, I do not recommend the Hanaumule rough paper. It's not good. Not good for this at all. Next was the prompt Ripple, and this is on the B 100% cotton watercolor paper, 140 pounds. And I am still using my Himi Miya set. That is all we are using because we are trying to use it up. You guessed it. Anyway, I chose yellows and then a blue in this set that was not hardly used at all before. And so I'm wondering if part of the problem I had with this was the blue that I used. And these do not have color names, although one of my viewers, thank you, put these color names for this Himi Miya 18 set in one of the comments of my video. So if you go check that out, maybe when I first received it, you'll see that. But the problem I had is that it dried faster than I expected. It created hard edges pretty quickly, and it was hard to blend out edges once they had dried, unlike the cotton paper. No, unlike Arch's paper, I should say, because this is cotton. But I had a harder time blending things once they had dried, which, I mean, that's par for the course. But anyway, this was not as good as Arch's, still enjoyable, but not as good. And here is the finished product. Next prompt we have is Faithful, and I decided to use this image reference from Pixabay here and work on Canson XL paper, my nemesis, except I think that I might be changing my mind a little bit about this paper because it is a little bit fun to use when you want to just have a play with your paint. However, at the end, you can definitely still tell that most of your paint is staying on top of the paper surface. Nothing is soaked in, there's no smoothness about it at all. And it's just more, I don't know what the words are, but it definitely stays more on the surface. And here I'm trying a new method, for me anyway, of having my paint drip down the paper. And I had a hard time with this. I don't know if it was the paper or if I should have wet the whole paper first. But I end up putting a ton of water on this, a ton of paint, but I do get the look that I want in the end. And while this started out more loose and flowy, it ended up again being a little more intricate than I had hoped. However, it was still satisfying. At first I thought, oh my goodness, these fingers are going to take forever. But in reality, it wasn't too bad. It was probably only 30, 45 minutes. I don't even know, maybe an hour, but it's all good. All good. This was definitely a fun one, and I picked intentionally a color from this Himi Miya set that had hardly been touched at all so that it would have a chance of, being used up as well. Anyway, here is how it looked when it was all said and done. This is Faithful. I do enjoy the way this turned out. For this next project, I have decided finally to use this amazing Canson Moulin De Roy paper that Diane gave me very generously back in March of this year. If you missed that video of the amazing gifts she gave me, I will link that in the corner for you. But we also have a special surprise today. I used part of my gift card to get this brush set here. I had about $40 left on my gift card. This particular brush set has been on my wish list for at least a year, maybe two, and I noticed that it was on sale for $12.99. And I thought, you know what? I think that's a worthy thing to spend my gift card money on. So it comes in this case. This doesn't feel like real leather, but I have no idea if it is or not. And inside we have 3 brushes. Let's pull them out and see what they're like. This is the medium-sized one. So it pulls out and comes in, snaps in there. That snap feels a little loose. We'll see how that goes. This is the size 8. Here's the biggest one. I'm sorry I did these out of order, but you know, that's my life. Oh, that's gorgeous. Size 12. Just for comparison, this is my Winsor & Newton Cotman size 12. Now this does still have the sizing in it, or whatever you want to call it, the little glue stuff. So I'll take that over to the sink to get rid of that, and then we can compare them a little bit better, but you can see the differences in those sizes. Both 12s. And the smallest one in the set, which I think will be really useful, they are claiming is a size 4, which is smaller than the size 6 that I use all the time from Royal and Langnickel. So you can compare those. This is a size 6 in my right hand, the size 4 travel brush in my left hand. And the thing I like about them is they have really wide openings to get the brush back into, at least in the smaller sizes. Let's see how that works. Yeah, huge openings. So you'll have no problem getting your brush back into there without destroying your edges, your bristles, without destroying your bristles. Anyway, my only concern is that does seem like a bit of a loose fit. I don't know, there's a bit of wiggle room there. It's got the little divot up there to try and catch the end, but we'll see. We'll use it, and I'm scared to death to use these on this painting because I want this painting to turn out really nicely because it's on really nice 100% cotton paper, fanciness, and it was a gift and I want it to be extra nice, but here we go. We will, I mean, what better test than to try these out on a painting that means a lot, right? Let's just do it. And for this one, I chose the prompt Camouflage, and I started out by watering the entire paper with my really cheap Real Value flat brush, which is the only large flat brush that I have. Anyway, it's working well, and I'm using a variety of colors, but mostly for the grays, I am using a mixture of what I believe is ultramarine blue and burnt sienna. It makes a gorgeous gray. Once in a while, I have a little bit of what I think is probably cobalt blue or phthalo blue, maybe a mixture of both on my palette that I kind of dip into and get a little bit of a different blue in there, which is really fun. We are interrupting this midstream, no makeup. I don't even think I've brushed my hair because we have a problem. A big problem. This paper. Oh my goodness. This paper is absolutely amazing. I never want to go back. I never want to go back to any other paper. I got this really wet. I was able to work on it forever. Look how flat it is. Oh, no wonder Louise DeMazy works on 300-pound paper all the time. This is heaven. It is delightful. You need to get some. Alrighty, now that that commercial break is over, have you went out and bought some of this paper yet? Because you need to. That little website spiel that I put up on the screen for you says it's only available in the UK, but you know, everywhere ships everywhere these days, so when I run out of paper, I will definitely go look into this. This was an amazingly enjoyable experience. Definitely want to do it again and again and again, and I believe I have at least 3 or 4 sheets left of this from Diane's original shipment, and I am so grateful. I cannot wait to try it again. So go get you some. It's fun. It's worth it. It's worth it. Wait, are you still sitting there? Pause this video and go get you some of this paper. The link will be in the description box, I hope. Okay, bye. Okay, I'm not sure if I want to do much more than this on this one. So this is what we have so far for Camouflage. I don't know. Need to practice owls more, maybe, but it's supposed to be kind of subtle. Blending into the tree. I can probably darken some darks a little bit more on this, like I did over here in this part of the tree, which I love. I think this part is gorgeous. So maybe as the paper dries a little bit, I should do that over here. I suspect so. In fact, I'll probably end up doing that right now while I'm talking to you. But as far as these brushes go, as I'm using, I only use the big one and the small one until just now I grabbed that medium one. And it wiggles. You hear that? But it never came off. So that is a bonus, because a lot of the travel brushes I have used, this pops off while you're using it. That's really annoying. Also, they feel great. They hold a little more paint and water than this Winsor & Newton Cotton that I always use. So that's interesting. They act almost more like a sable brush than a synthetic brush. And for $12.99, so far I'm liking these. So let's get some more darks into this picture here and see what we can come up with. Now, because they act more like a sable brush, when I was using this little one thing I noticed with the natural hair brushes that I sometimes occasionally grab, just because I have, I think maybe two, is that the water control is a little more difficult. Like, I kind of need to put more water in them than I think. So that's kind of interesting. Like this one, I didn't have quite enough water in that just now, but I really like them so far. Now this one doesn't wiggle at all. Did the little one? No, the little one doesn't wiggle either. So just the big one wiggles. So whatever that means for that. So one thing I need to work on in my paintings are contrast, and well, I guess, you know, getting the darks dark enough is the same as contrast. And so that's one thing here. Yeah, just that little bit of darkness there already has helped a lot. So making sure you have dark enough darks will really make a huge difference. And my paper is still damp because this paper is awesome. And I'm going to need to include this in my life now. But we'll use up the paper I have first. But wow, this paper is amazing. I have no idea what I was saying. But anyway, contrast is important. I do have to use what feels like more water with these brushes than I did with my Winsor & Newton Cotton, but it could be the paper as well, because this paper is just amazing. I just want to live with this paper, breathe with this paper. It's so amazing. So thank you, Diane, for sending me several of these paper samples, and I do have several more pieces because she took some and tore it into little pieces. Well, little pieces. This is pretty big for me to use, and I cannot wait now to try the others. Now this is, I thought this was rough paper, and so I was kind of nervous to use it also on that aspect, because rough paper is better for certain things than other things, and I wasn't sure, you know, if I had the right thing to paint on it for rough paper still. But I finally broke through the fear. I encourage you to do that all the time with your own painting. Break through the fear. It's a little dark. And use your supplies, because wow, is this fun? This makes the day worthwhile. And that is crap. But anyway, we'll get rid of that. You can erase this paper. Did you know that? Wow, I just went into the owl's head very strangely there. Okay, well, I increased the contrast a little bit, and I think I'm going to call that good for the prompt camouflage. All right, here's our day. Enjoy. And here's just a recap of all of our paintings. This is the Fabriano 100% cotton paper, fun to work on. Strathmore 400, dries quickly, maybe not so fun. Arches, excellent paper, need to increase my contrast. Hanamoule rough, not good for portraits. Maybe fun for other stuff. B cotton, always nice, not as nice as Arches. Canson XL, fun if you want your paint to stay on the surface. Ooh, Canson Moulin De Roy, deluxe, divine, absolutely delicious paper. As far as the Himi Miya paints, look how much paint we still have left. This is crazy. This is insane. We will never go through these. What I do find interesting is how much of certain colors we have used up. black, the dark brown, the white. Wow. I did use up a lot of the burnt sienna and the ultramarine blue in my camouflage owl, so that is good. As far as the numbers go for the Himi Miya Use-It-Up challenge, we have used it since December of last year. And we have done 931.7 square inches of painting with them, 16 hours, 13 minutes, and 58 seconds. Give or take. I do the best I can trying to track how much time I have used these. When I first put these on the scale, it said 111, but I took them off, put them on, took them off, put them on a couple of times just to make sure, and it always settled at 112 grams. So I do not have a scale that does less than grams, so we just have to live with that. And you can see I really haven't gone down in grams on this paint at all. So we are definitely pretty consistently 112 and not 113 at least, but we have a long ways to go before these paints are even close to used up. All right, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate your time. Normally I put out videos on Tuesdays and Fridays, but for a couple of months I'm putting them out only on Fridays. So subscribe if you don't want to miss anything. All you existing subscribers, thank you. You guys are awesome. I want to give you hugs. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye for now. The second thing is we have used Severin. The second thing, we have used Himi Miya paints on Severin again? Really? What on earth? Okay. Scratch that. For this nest. Oh. All right, I have paint on me. Imagine that.